All right, so welcome everybody. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us this evening. Uh, Today we're going to kind of do a informational session about the program. The main there's been there's been information put out about the program today, but we really wanted to focus the information around contractors and the opportunity and the options that you'll have to participate in the program. So today is not a pre-bid meeting. We're not going to go through any very specific information related to the bids. The bids will be out in the next week and a half to 2 weeks. And so we will keep everybody posted on that. When Eric Jones speaks, he'll talk about how to get registered and to ensure you receive the bid information when it comes out. I'm going to kind of kick this off, introduce myself, and then kind of just give you some highlights of the program and why it's a little bit different than what you might have experienced in the past. So again, my name is Pete Littleton. I lead operations for CIP, which is our company, and that's Community Infrastructure Partners. And EquiFlow is how we branded the partnership between CIP and the City of Wausau. So the program is focused on, over the next 5 years, working within the City of Wausau to eliminate all of the lead service lines within the city. So the estimate right now is there are somewhere around 8,000 lines that need to be replaced. Year one will kick off with around 553 is kind of the minimum amount of lines we want to do. I'll explain why I say minimum when I say it. And then years two, for year two, we have the application in for funding right now, and that's for it should be about 1,500 lines. And years 3 through 5 are projected to be 2,000 lines per year. So we're starting a little bit later in the year this year. So we wanted an initial year to ramp up the program, get kind of get our feet underneath us, get everything moving, and get the program built and started. And then we'll obviously increase production significantly in year 2 and beyond. The focus, of course, is on the lead service lines. Eric, in a few minutes, will go through some particulars on the lead lines, public versus private. The program is set up as a community-based public-private partnership. And so what that means is that this is a model that the EPA created, and the way the model functions is we have a partnership with the municipality, but we hold the contract for that, and we are guaranteeing certain performance through the program. Our fees are fixed, and we do not self-perform any of the work. So the reason we call it a community-based partnership is because the majority of the money, we want to make sure if we're spending money on infrastructure in a community, that the majority of that money is spent back in the community with local businesses, local residents, as much as humanly possible. Several of our KPIs or our performance metrics related to how we are compensated is related to the use of local businesses, local small disadvantaged businesses, and then also training and development of local residents with opportunities. As I mentioned, our fees are fixed, so if the goal is to generate as much savings as we can, be as efficient as we can, and those savings are then reinvested into the program. So as I said year one will be a minimum of 553 lines. That's kind of the bare minimum that we need to get. Every dollar that we can save out of the total budget for the year will be reinvested into the program as we go forward, as it should be. The team that we'll put together will be made up of many different folks. Obviously we're talking to the kind of the contracting space right now, but the reason that this program will be a little bit different is the fact that we function as almost air traffic control for the program. Basically, what we're trying to do is set up an opportunity where contractors that work with the program able to do what they do best, which is come in, efficiently and effectively and safely do the work for the program with minimal hurdles in their way. So we put together an outreach team. We have some construction management staff that will be out on site. We've already been engaging the local residents and the local community since early November, and getting into homes, verifying lines, doing the legwork to get right of entry signed. So basically what we're trying to do, and what I'm trying to explain to you, is that when you come to work at this program and when you're putting your bid together, you should know that we're going to have everything in place that we need to in order to allow you to go to work. It's our responsibility to get the homeowners ready for you. It's our responsibility to notify the community, notify the streets and the areas that you're coming to in the days and weeks ahead. Our construction management staff will be there to support you. They'll be there to, run referee or interference with any residents if there's any issues or problems or challenges. We also, as part of the program, there will be third-party inspection involved. So what that means is that we will not have to necessarily wait on a city inspector or anybody like that. The program will have its own inspectors that will have the same delivery schedules as you all would have as contractors. So they're very aware of what's happening, when it's happening, and when they need to be present in order to keep things moving as quickly and efficiently as we can. So I talk a lot about partnership, and that's sometimes an overused term, but we're really looking for contractors that are invested in making a difference in the community, invested in showing that this type of model, when the private sector works together to support a municipality and create a solution for them, can really be productive and efficient. We're looking for, a way to maximize the efficiency, but also maximize the impact to Wausau in general. So that's kind of my piece. I'm going to shift it over to Eric Jones, who's the program manager for the program. I forgot to mention in the beginning, if you have any questions, we can't answer any specific questions right now on the bid or the terms or any of those kind of things. But if you have any programmatic type questions, feel free to put those in the chat, and we'll try to either answer them during this call, or we'll send out communications following the call. All right, Eric, thank you.
Thanks, Pete. Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. My name's Eric Jones. I'm the program manager with CIP. I'll be kind of running the EquiFlow program. So Pete kind of gave a good overview of what the program is and, its origin. So I'm just going to go a little bit into what the work is actually going to be for this first year. Get over here. There we go. So it's service line replacement. I'm sure many of you are very familiar with what that is. So we're in this first year just focusing really on the private side. So that's the side running from the curb stop into the home. So it's kind of the resident side or their ownership there. We have funding to do that at no cost to the resident. And because of the areas that we're going into, the public side has already been replaced. So once we finish ours, or once the summer is complete, both sides will be clear, and that homeowner will have a lead-free service line. So that's kind of the gist of the work, is that we're replacing service lines. There's probably going to be various challenges in that depending on each home, but a lot of them are exactly the same too. And then obviously, with replacing the line, you're going to have to remediate any of that damage. So there's all of that piece as well, right? So some landscaping and stuff may be involved as you get into that. So just to show you the areas that we're focused on, as Pete said, we've already started going into these homes so we can get the right of entry signed, find all the lead, and then kind of tee them all up. So instead of, leaving that up to the contractor in July or June to start going through and trying to figure out how they're going to map out a replacement of 500 homes, we're going to take care of a lot of that ahead of time, so that hopefully all you really have to do is the work, right? You can show up and start digging and replacing. So the areas where the work is actually focused is primarily in what's called the hollows. I've heard a lot of folks call it. It's in this kind of lower peninsula there, Wausau, near the lake. around M Park, and in there, I think the window factory is right in that same area, and kind of 3M borders it up to the north. So it's mostly everything south of Thomas Street in those numbered areas, that little peninsula. So that's where we've been focusing, and that's where the majority of the work will probably get done. Like Pete said, we have 533 to find and replace. So at this point, we're at around 150 that we've found. So we've just got to keep searching those out. And then the Eau Claire Boulevard replacement will also be happening. And there's about 100 homes in there. That's just a little bit north of the airport there on Eau Claire. So those are the two prime areas where the work will be happening. And then that's kind of the gist of what we wanted to, tell you all tonight, was just about the program. It is a community-based program, so we're really looking for folks who can, appeal to that, work with residents, work with local contractors and subcontractors. And that's our goal of the program, as well as replacing lines, obviously. So if you're interested, please send us an email. The address is the info.wausau@yourcip.com. So it's just info wausau@yourcip.com. That red may not have been the best choice, but hopefully you can read it. When you send us that email, make sure you're sending it from your the contact information you want us to use, whoever your primary contact is at your company for this kind of communication. Make sure that's what you're using as your email address. And then in that email, include the name of your company, good contact information in terms of person's name, phone number, and then whether or not you're a subcontractor, or you want to be one of the primes or considered one of the primes, and then what your area of expertise is, and then whether or not you're looking for partners. And what we'd like to do is kind of collect all that and then send it back out the other way, right? If all the subcontractors will send to the primes and vice versa. So that hopefully y'all can start partnering up and figuring out how you're going to attack this replacement.
Thanks, Eric.
Sure.
I see we have one question in the chat. So that's kind of our little spiel. So feel free to start putting questions in the chat. As I said, there'll be a ton more detail coming out once the bids come out, but we can't get into specifics. We just really wanted to make sure that we engage you all to make sure you had a general understanding of the program, give you the opportunity to kind of register with the program so we can make sure you get on the bid list. We'll be publicly posting the bids, of course, and following some of the typical processes around that. But if you're interested in the program, like Eric said, please reach out, give us your contact info, and we'll ensure you get the information directly to you. Okay, so one of the questions is, what happens when the city side is still lead? We had one at the end of last year that was marked as not lead on the city side, but it actually was one. Yeah, so if we discover during installation that the public side is still lead, but we think it is not, then we'll address it at that time and probably plan to do a replacement, I would assume. I think the records are really good related to that, but there will be instances, I'm sure, where we run into something like that. So as part of the bid package, you will see line items related to both public, private side pricing. So you'll see that once you receive the bids. So any other questions from anybody? And if anybody came in late, we will try. We've recorded this session, so if you email the info@Wausau, we can send you the recording at a later time. So are there any more questions that anybody wants to put in the chat? Okay. Then if that's the case, we really appreciate your time. We appreciate you coming out. Like we said, please reach out. Let us know you're interested. We want to make sure you get the pertinent information as the bids come along. We're really excited about the program. Again, it's hard to put into words how impactful this will be and how great of an opportunity it is over the next 5 years to have such a significant amount of work done in the city.